What's Greg?
Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juice the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin Heller.
And you're listening to the hottest sports show on the East Coast. Oh, man. Anyway, it's, it is hot takes, cold results over here as nothing we ever say is right. But we're talking about headlines today. Stats episode is Mondays. Thursdays, we're talking about what's just kind of going on in the world of sports. So we'll talk about some NFL, some MLB, some NBA. Ooh. And then maybe make a brief passing mention of the NHL so it doesn't feel like they're completely forgotten here. Corwin, are you ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I guess let's start with baseball, because I think I have probably the least to say. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I accept your terms, sir.
Excellent. So, for starters, I will start off by saying, would you have, if I told you with the utmost confidence that Luke Voit was going to be leading the American League in home runs, leading all of baseball in home runs a month and a half into the season, would you think that was a serious point I was trying to make or a joking point?
So, like, if one of your bold predictions this year was, I think Luke Voit is going to lead the MLB home runs going into, like, October.
Which would basically be the end of the season. So, yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know. I think I'd look at you and be like, shut the fuck up, Josh. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. Part of me would also be like, whatever. But God, I just don't know. Like, I really don't know how I'd feel about it because yes, Luke Voit has shown that he can do that kind of thing. But man, I don't know. I just don't know. I'll say 60% believable. That's what I'll say.
So here's what makes it seem like such a head scratcher is if I told you, hey, Luke Voigt's going to hit a bunch of home runs, you would go, yeah, of course he is. That's like why the Yankees got him. If I told you he led the league in home runs, you'd be like, I don't know about that. Like, you got Trout there, you got Judge there and Stanton there, even though they get hurt a lot. Like you got Anthony Rendon in the AL now. And no, it's just Luke Voit leading the pack in home runs. And that, again, he hits a lot. Like, that's not the surprising part. It's just the fact that no one's hitting more because he's doing it better than he usually does, which is already very good. It's wild.
Yeah. If you told me 2 weeks ago, I would say, what the fuck do you mean it's not Fernando Tatis? Shut the fuck up and get out of here. And then I'd be sad.
What's more surprising, that Luke Voit is leading all of MLB in home runs, or that Nelson Cruz is also like right there?
Nelson Cruz, because
of the age.
That's just crazy. Yeah, the man's 40.
Yeah. I mean, like, CeCe's retired and like wasn't the guy he used to be when he retired. And Nelson Cruz obviously isn't speedy, but like, holy shit, how is he still hitting all these home runs? I think hitting home runs must be easier than we thought it was. It's the only solution.
For sure. Like, that's to some degree, yeah. Like, right? Like, you just have to be able to luck into it. That's the whole deal.
Yeah. I mean, look at how successful Byron Buxton's career has been.
That's only a lot of funny.
Hey, if Tyler Wade can have 2 home runs this season, you and I could like get one combined between the two of us over the course of like 500 plate appearances each.
Do you want to put money on that?
No, actually, yes, because then that means that it has to happen, and I want to do
that. All right, I'm on board. Oh, excuse me.
You hear that, Major League Baseball? Give us plate appearances.
I don't see how anyone listening could look at that and say anything other than, no, we should give those two random dudes all of the plate appearances.
Well, see, you would get at least a look because you're so tall. They'd look at me and go, "What is this guy pretending to do here?"
No, see,
They'd look at me and be like,
I think it's the exact other way around because, like, if we're out here talking about hitting home runs, they're gonna look at you and be like, "Yeah, like that dude could hit a home run." I would take off my sweatshirt and they'd be like, "Sir, if you swing that back, you're gonna shatter."
All right, no, here's how it would go. We would walk on the field, and someone up in one of the suites would look down and go like, "What's that pitcher and dude from the analytics department doing in the batter's box?"
Oh, and then we all got sad.
Yeah, and then we'd strike out a lot. But anyway, in other non-random MLB talk, the MLB announced its playoff format. So here's how it's going to go. It's a lot of baseball, so buckle up. Tuesday, September 29th will be the AL wildcard games A, B, C, and D, in which in the A game is 1 versus 8, B game is 2 versus 7. These are seeds, these numbers. The C game 3 versus 6, and the D game 4 versus 5. And then game 2 of that series will be on September 30th, and then game 3, if necessary, will be October 1st, which is also when game 2 of the NL wildcard series will be happening, with game 1, because I missed it, sorry about that, being on Wednesday, September 30th. So September 29th through October 1st, holy shit, is that a lot of baseball. And then we move into the DS series, which will be best of 5 as usual, and then all kind of continues on from there, as you would expect. The ALDS taking place in San Diego and Los Angeles. The NLDS is taking place in Houston and Arlington, with the ALCS being in San Diego, the NLCS being in Arlington, and then eventually the World Series in Arlington. So after you get past the massive quantity of baseball that will be happening from the 29th to the 1st, it all seems pretty normal, except because there is no travel this year, since all the sites are being done are all neutral sites. There won't be any reason to have a day off, so that the Dodgers would usually get a day off to like go to I don't want to say New York because the Mets aren't making it, Atlanta, because at least one game would have to be played in Atlanta if you're doing a best of 5, 2 games in LA, and then in theory 2 games in Atlanta, and then if it went to 5, 1 game back in Los Angeles, and that would have in it travel days between the cities. Even if it was going to be Atlanta versus Philadelphia, you'd still have travel days, just so that you're not sweating over like putting all your shit on a bus and driving it over. MLB allots you that time, which is important not just for travel, but also for pitchers. Jesus. So I guess I'll turn it over to you here at this point. What do you think of the fact that there will not be any days off for any of the playoff series?
This is gonna this is fucked, right? Like someone's gonna get seriously hurt because of this, right? Or like this is gonna lead to some crazy situation where guys are just absolutely just gassed, and I feel like it's going to lead to pitchers getting hurt. It's going to lead to either offenses struggling a lot because sluggers are gassed, or it's going to be crazy because pitchers are so significantly more gassed because there's no off days, that like guys are going to get hurt and they're just going to get the absolute shit beat out of them. I don't know, but I can't imagine this is health-wise the best way to do this.
Yeah, so there. Firstly, there is certainly that, because you build in the fact that this is the playoffs, and it's not like, there are games like Gleyber Torres isn't in the lineup again for the Yankees tonight, and that's annoying because if he's not healthy, if he is hurt enough to not be playing, put him on the IL so you can call up somebody else. And if he's not hurt enough that he's not put on the IL, play him. And the Yankees are being cautious because they have the ability to, based on the standings and where we are in the season, that they're going to give him days off. That doesn't exist in this format. So in that respect, yeah, like you're going to get a lot of dudes who are fringe play versus IL candidates who aren't going to get the luxury of an off day because it's not like we got 2 weeks of no, it is the playoffs. Like it is happening now. I would pick for myself though the bigger concern just being starting pitching. And not from a health perspective, just from a strategy perspective, because if you have all right, so let's take the NLDS for example. All right. So you pitch Kirsch game 1. Okay. So you pitch Kirsch game 1, you pitch Buehler game 2, and then you get an off day. And then game 3, you throw out there fucking, I don't know the rotation well enough, Dustin May. And then game 4 comes around, and you've had game 2 off, an off day, game 3 off, and you could, in theory, if you needed to rush it, put Kirsch out there. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's say you don't want to rush it. So someone else pitches, Dodgers pitcher number 4, Julio Urias, somebody. And then game 5, Kirsch would get a pitch on normal rest, right? Game 5 would be Kirsch's normal rest day. In this scenario, there is a day off, but in the scenario the MLB is presenting to us, that's not even an option. This is how it's going to be. There is not that day off, meaning that in the DS series, that's it. You get one start. No starting pitchers going twice. There's no start your best pitcher game 1 so you can get them back on normal rest for game 5. That's it. If they pitch game 1, unless you want to squeeze a second start out of them for game 5, which would be a pretty sizable risk this year, since NLDS game 5, if necessary, is October 10th, and then NLCS game 1 is October 12th. So it's not like there's a huge chunk of time between the two of them. Like if that happens, you get one off day, the 11th, and then you're back at it. You're hosed. And with, especially just because I'm talking about Kirsch, if you pick a guy like Kirsch, in his mid-30s at this point, back problems I don't think you'd want to rush that guy. It's going to affect everything. And then you get into the World Series, and it's the same problem. There is weirdly one off day in the World Series, I will say, Monday, October 26th, which is between game 5 and game 6. For some reason, there's no game scheduled that day. So they either had the forethought to give an off day in the World Series, or they didn't want to compete with Monday Night Football. But outside of that,
honestly makes the most sense.
I would guess. How do you orchestrate your starting pitching? Because come game 6 of this year's World Series, there will have been one single off day when there's usually 2. And that's going to fuck your rotation.
Yeah. Oh, God. Why does MLB just... I feel like we will say, oh, like they shot themselves in the foot. Like, no, like they're tying an explosive to their ankles and just saying, hey, let's see what the fuck happens. It's like, what do you expect to happen? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, the thing it's so fucking weird about this is that it's usually a lot of rule changes that like will make fans upset, but players will be like, it is what it is about. Like right. Brian Cashman of the Yankees is looking at the runner starting on second base in extra innings and going, I get it. Like they want to get the games over with quickly this year. Like, they told us about it. I don't think this is going to last. Like I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. This is very different. This is the playoffs. Like this matters a lot, and it matters to teams, especially because the MLB did not tell them about this beforehand. And you could have sat there and go like, oh, well, they were playing at one stadium the whole time. They should have assumed no travel days. Like, why would you assume that the MLB is going to take away days off? You can call them travel days all you want, but the way that teams look at that is they go, those are built-in days off that we use to give rest to players and schedule out our starting pitching. And the fact that they didn't tell them about that ahead of time, aka pre-trade deadline, I'm sure is having a lot of playoff teams really fucking annoyed because maybe they would have gotten more pitching. Like, it also helps you reset your bullpen. If you ran 5 pitchers, you're 5 like a starter and then 4 of your best relievers in game 2 to hang on to a lead, that's all right. It is what it is because the next day is an off day, and then in theory you should have mostly everybody back for game 3 after you have that day off. You don't get that. If you burn like 4 of your best pitchers in one game to try to hang on to a lead in game 2, guess what? Fuck you. Game 3 right around the corner.
Yeah. Again, like this just comes back to just how fucking batshit insane MLB is when it comes to all this. What are they thinking? Like, what other league would pull something like this?
Oh my, what other league wouldn't have the owners maybe not the owners, the GMs be heavily involved in this decision?
The owners would absolutely be involved with this in any other league. You think the NBA or NFL are going to be making these kind of changes just willy-nilly?
I mean, it's mind-blowing lack of executive leadership at the end of the day. Sorry, my voice is cracking a lot. I've had a cough today.
So you're telling me that all goes back to Rob Manfred? Who would have thought?
I can't believe that the owners are going to continue to be cool with him, seeing that he is so hated in the public eye, and now he's kind of fucking with their GMs. And you know what? If I am a team that's not competing, I'm probably upset too, because if I had traded away a reliever, I probably could have gotten a better price. If I knew that there was going to be no days off and that pitching was going to be a bigger priority for the playoffs this year, and I traded away a reliever, I think who traded one away? Kansas City or some non-competing team did trade away like a big-time reliever, and I want to say it was Kansas City.
They traded away Trevor Rosenthal to the Padres.
That's what it was. I'd have demanded a bigger price because you know what?
Absolutely.
The Padres probably would have figured out a way to pay it. Because, pitching is going to be a huge deal this playoffs. It's mind-blowingly stupid the way the MLB continues to choose to handle itself.
Do you know? I don't know how contracts for commissioners work in MLB. Is this something where like Rob Manfred can get voted out? Can he get fired? Do we have to wait for his contract to expire? Like, what is the recourse for MLB teams with this?
Oh man, I couldn't even tell you. So, Rob Manfred he just signed a 5-year contract extension last year. Wow. So he is on contract as the MLB commissioner through 2024. Via unanimous approval. Unanimous approval.
Unanimous.
From the MLB owners.
So that right there just tells me all I need to know about this is a money decision. Rob Manfred made them money, and that's how this decision got made.
Which we have talked about. No, go ahead.
Otherwise, like, what are you looking at competition-wise that makes you think, oh, yes, this makes the league better? This is making a better, more enjoyable product that's going to get fans to watch.
We talked about this on the podcast a few times. The MLB ownership seems to be the most short-sighted group of old white dudes on the planet, which I think is really saying something. Because if you look at what the NBA does, and we've talked about the MLB compared to the NBA a lot because the NBA is significantly better run.
Well, Adam Silver. Fair, I mean, if you're an old white dude, I just completely cut you off. I'll say my point after. Go ahead.
No. It's okay. Go ahead.
Old white dudes, they get to be short-sighted because they're old and white. Like, what are they going to do?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Pass it down to somebody else? No fucking way.
Oh, true. I think they just want to just be stupid because they're rich enough to get to choose to be stupid.
It's their oldest pastime, being a fucking idiot.
But in terms of just being cold-blooded and making themselves more money, if you look at how Adam Silver conducts himself, when I look at Rob Manfred, I see the voice of MLB ownership. And when I look at Adam Silver, I see a man who truly cares about what the players have to say. And that, I think, is truly the difference between these two leagues. Like, the MLB commissioner, if he really cared more about what the players thought, I think you would see a better product on the field. You'd see happier players. You'd probably see better promotion of these players, which is going to generate more revenue. And you'd be able to make decisions that players would be happier with. And if the players are happy, I think you're going to end up getting more attention to your sport. And that's the thing. Attention to your sport is something the MLB could desperately use. Instead of it always, and not always negative, because God damn it, the news for the MLB is always negative.
It's sad because guess what? I'm finally happy watching MLB baseball, and these guys are trying to fucking ruin it.
Oh,
not even trying; they're ruining it.
Yeah,
like, this is just them being themselves,
and they are terrible. Oh, all right. That's really there's obviously always more things that can be talked about in the world of any sport. Baseball is rapidly approaching its playoff. I guess first playoff game. The first playoff game happens in 13 days. Can you believe that?
It's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's not bullshit. That's phenomenal.
It's crazy.
It's bullshit that it's just this.
Yeah, I
we're in a situation where like it's already time for playoff baseball. Like, come on, this is the best. Not having to slog through a 162 game season. I love it.
Fuck you. I need those games.
Man. Come on.
I need those games. Oh, I do want to, before we move on from baseball, shout out the best record in AL, Chicago White Sox. I did this for you. You should be grateful.
It's true. Honestly, if there's a single person in all of baseball that I would chalk that up to, it's you.
I'm so proud of this team, and it's like not even my main team. I bought a hat. I'm going in. Yeah. It's really cool.
I've been meaning to buy a Padres cap for fucking ever. And they are completely sold out online.
Wow, good for them.
Like, it's been weeks. It's been since like 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks in August. Since then, they have yet to stock my size.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
They have been down to like a singular size option forever.
Weird. That's very weird. All right, hold on, real quick. What's weirder, the fact that they don't have your size, or the fact that the White Sox are only a game and a half back from being tied with the Dodgers?
Oh, it's definitely that, because the Padres are the best team in baseball. Why wouldn't they be at least?
No, I'm talking about the White Sox.
Oh, the White Sox are that far back? Only that far back?
A game and a half. Yeah. The Padres, by the looks of it, are 2.5 games back.
Okay.
No, sorry, 3. No,
it might be 3.5 because they lost to them last night.
I'm always so bad at doing this.
I think it was 2.5 going into the series, and they've traded games so far, and there's one going on right now. So 2.5 actually would make sense. Well, all right. Let's say 3.5 because they are not winning today.
All right.
They're down 7-1. It's not looking good.
Man, let's see if they got a rally in their bones.
Hey, if there's any team that can do it,
it's the White Sox. Damn. All right. Anyway, we can move on from baseball unless you have anything else to get out before we move on.
Fernando Tatis stopped hitting homers, and that makes me sad. But at the same time, he'll be back.
I believe
it. All I got. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt him. All right, so the NFL season started, and there's not, I don't think, enough for us to really say. We obviously talked about it when there was only one game, and now I'm sitting here telling you there's not enough to really talk about yet. But the reality is, when there's more than one game, that actually makes it tougher. So I'm not really going to say there's too much yet. Everything seems to be, just kind of settling in. However, there's already reports of a desired trade coming out of Chicago following their, oh my God, how did you win that game? Allen Robinson wants out. The star wide receiver has been one of the bright spots on that team, one of the sole bright spots on that team for the last 3 seasons, after having been one of the sole bright spots on the Jacksonville Jaguars. He has never played with a good quarterback, and it seems like it's finally getting to him, and he wants to be moved. What do you think about it, Corwin?
I mean, I hope to all that is holy that he's able to do it, because goddamn, like, he needs, more than anyone, he needs to get out of his situation. He's never had a quarterback in any level of football. I mean, God, I love Christian Hackenberg, but man, he showed his worth time and time again, and it wasn't great. Blake Bortles, same thing. Love the guy, not a great quarterback. And Mitch Trubisky, can't say I love him, and he's probably the worst of the bunch. I hope he is able to get out, not because I love hating on the Bears, which I do, but because he deserves it as a player. I don't think they'll trade him, because that would basically just be them completely giving in on the season and giving up on both Trubisky and what's his face, Big Dick Nick Foles.
Yeah.
I hate that that's how I have to remember his name.
I love it.
And I just don't think they'd be willing to bite that bullet so early, which means they're going to be stuck, or he's going to be stuck in Chicago, and they are not going to get anything back in return because he's going to walk in free agency. So that's that.
Well, see, and that's the part of it where, and we've talked about this before too, with the whole like Bryce Harper analogy thing. Look, man, Chicago ain't winning this year. And it's not even me trying to rag on them. Like Green Bay looked phenomenal the other day. Like, as there's no chance Chicago takes this division. There's just no chance. And if you could get literally anything back for a player in their contract year when they are not going to re-sign with you, yeah, trade them. Get him out of there. Set Allen Robinson free.
I hate that it's at a point where front offices and owners will just turn a blind eye to what the smart decision would be, both financially and team-wise, because of the image that they need to portray to fans. Which, to be fair, overarching, grand scheme of things, maybe that brings in more money. But at the same time, floundering for years like Jacksonville is doing, that's not getting any money in for that team. Actually making smart decisions and building a team, sure, like fans probably won't buy as much merch or go to as many games while you're rebuilding. But guess what? You are putting yourself in a position to make a, contending team. And guess what's going to bring in money? Contending for a championship.
And this is the thing I don't get is like, we're not even sitting here saying that like the Bears need to tank. We're not sitting here saying you need to go be bad and trade away all your good players. We're saying like there are moves you can make during the course of a season that might look like you're not trying or look like you don't believe in the team, but are better for you in the long run. And you should put aside your stupid fucking feelings and just do that. Sitting there and saying like, we don't want to trade Allen Robinson. Like, this is my imaginary owner voice for the Bears. Like, we don't want to make any trades. We want to, I believe in this coach. I believe in this GM. Like, they're putting a good product out in the field. Things are going to come together real soon. Like, we think we have a real shot at competing this year, and we don't want to give up on that. Like, we have full faith in Mitch Trubisky, blah, 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 blah. What that amounts to is, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
That's stupid.
And that's a terrible way of running a team.
There's hurt no other way to say that. That's stupid.
Hurt their feelings. Go hurt them. That's what you should do. That is the one thing baseball actually does well. MLB doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. And it helps make good teams good. That is the one thing I will say MLB does well. They run it like a business and they make it very clear. And that actually gives more agency to the players a lot of the times when it comes to contract talks, because the players don't usually feel that bad about holding out to make sure that they get a good contract. So we're getting better with that with the NFL.
Slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely, it's getting a lot less stigmatized and being used a lot more, which players absolutely should be doing. So good on them. But man, and I guess this segues nicely, although it's a little bit short of a conversation than I expected on the Allen Robinson front. Trade him away to the Jets. And
wait, before we move on to the Jets,
go ahead.
Where would be the dream landing spot in reality for Allen Robinson?
Genuinely speaking, the Jets do make a lot of sense. They have cap space to assume the entirety of his contract, and they have excess number of picks heading into the next draft, so they could probably part with, like a third. Hell, maybe I wouldn't personally give up a second for him, but they could and not feel that bad about it based on how much capital they have. Again, I wouldn't, but they could. In terms of teams that have a better chance of competing and could use it, maybe Houston?
Yeah, I mean, they really do need a top tier, wide receiver, and they're hard to get. So I don't know what their options are. It's hard to even make jokes about it because it's just like it's just so depressing. I think seeing him up in Green Bay would be phenomenal.
I was thinking the same thing, but I also don't think they would trade him there.
I don't think so either, but I would love to see him in Green Bay. All
right. I'm going to make my actual prediction. You ready?
Yeah.
They're going to trade him to the Rams for 4 first-round picks, and then the Rams are going to sign him to an extension worth $150 million.
Well, shit, that just makes sense.
Based on recent history, I can't see anything wrong with this.
Yeah, no, like that's shit, man. How'd you come up with that?
Oh, I mean, it's really easy. I thought of the stupidest thing someone could do, and then did it. That's what you got to do. Because what's going to happen is, Allen Robinson's not going to be great when he gets there. He's going to average 2 catches a game for 6 yards. But you're going to look at him and you're going to go, well, I traded for him, so I should really extend him and then give him as much money as you could possibly write on the check.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, that sounds a bit accurate. I mean, I guess we'll see. As it stands right now, I believe the Bears have come out and said, we don't intend on trading Allen Robinson. We believe in this team. Blah, yeah. Basically, what I just pretended to say, I believe is what they actually said. But, yeah, I mean, we'll see. But are you ready to talk about the Jets?
Yes.
All right. I suffered through their game on Sunday. It was bad. It was so incredibly bad. And now, look, I can sit here and tell you Darnold didn't play well. He didn't. I can sit there and tell you the offensive line didn't play well. They didn't. I can sit there and tell you Le'Veon Bell didn't play well. He didn't. The cornerbacks didn't play well. He did. It didn't go well. I can sit here and tell you all of the individual players and units of players that did not play well, and you will be correct. None of them played well. What I want to talk about is Adam Gase, the head coach. Oh my God. This is pathetic. Genuinely pathetic. He is hamstringing this team like nothing I've ever seen. I can't think of a pass Darnold made in the first half that went more than 8 yards. I've never seen anything. And this kid came into the league, everyone talking about how he's kind of like a Favre style guy, a bit of a gunslinger. Where is that? If that's his strength and he just needs to refine it, then do that. Instead, they're turning him into Alex Smith, which is fine. That's not why we drafted him. That's not Alex Smith's max potential is being the dink and dunk guy who's going to move down the field, and they built their team accordingly. That's not how this team is even built. It's mind-blowing. It's ridiculous. And it gets to a point where it's just hurting the kid beyond what he needs. And the fact that they're not letting him air out the ball and figuring out what went wrong with it if something were to go wrong afterwards, it feels like a colossal disservice. I mean, the game, at one point, the Jets were down, I don't know, like 17-10 or some shit like that. Like, the game was not going well, but somehow the score was within reach. And it's like the late third quarter, and Darnold's just throwing like slant route and wide receiver screen passes. And I'm looking at like, you need to fucking score. Like, you're in your own 15. The slant passes and like little up the middle seam routes for like 4 yards aren't doing you any good. You need to actually try. And I can't, and this is again, the Jets ownership came out today of all days and said, we believe in Adam Gase. We think of him as an offensive genius. We think he'll be able to put this together. At the same time saying there's no playoff mandate, which riddle me fucking that one if you're going to say he's an offensive genius and this team should be good. And you got to hurt his feelings. You shouldn't have hired him in the first place. You did so solely because Peyton Manning called you and told you to, and you're so infatuated with Mr. Fivehead, a.k.a. Dr. Papa John, that you just couldn't fucking say no and just chortled his balls while saying, yes, we'll do whatever you say, Mr. Manning, and hired a fucking dope. And now, after going 1-7 in your first 8 games last year, you drop, and I hate to call a week 1 game must win, but you dropped a game against a team you so could have beat. Despite all of the failings, the Jets were actually score-wise in that game the whole time. And instead of putting together any semblance of competent offensive strategy, they flopped. They absolutely flopped. And we can sit here and say maybe Le'Veon Bell's washed up. Maybe he is. At the same time, I think he probably should have played better. I think there's a better player within Le'Veon Bell that's getting absolutely fucked by the coaching staff. Darnold should have played better. Absolutely, he should have. A lot of incompletes, not a good look, a lot of really bad decisions being made. But at the same time, he should be in a scheme that's better conducive towards his skill sets, and he's not in one. He is very clearly trying his best to do what the coaches told him to and not actively leading an offense the way someone would if the offense was built around them. Like, it is abhorrently obvious to a guy like me who cannot X's and O's up a field for you. And I'm sitting there and I'm seeing the bad coaching. This is awful. And the fact that that Jets ownership is willing to just be like, basically what Jets ownership is saying is, well, we bought this team as an investment, and usually our other investments don't complain, so we're just going to ignore this and keep making money. And it's just a gigantic middle finger. I don't get it. You would be better off winning games. Our GM, I still think, is genuinely good. The coach has to go.
Absolutely.
I don't get
this should have nothing against your GM right now. Nothing. Adam Gase is just a black hole of talent.
It's infuriating because like I got so excited going into the season because of all of Joe Douglas's moves. Like he made a lot of really savvy, good moves. And yeah, I know like Jamal Adams played well in Seattle yesterday. Marcus May played phenomenally. And he showed that like, yeah, take the 2 first-round picks. Like he I haven't disagreed really with almost anything Joe Douglas has done. And somehow we are looking just as bad as we did last year with what I will once again say is an improved team. And maybe they do turn it around because of the lack of preseason games. Okay, sure. At the same time, the leash needs to be short.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets have never fired anybody midseason. No head coach has ever been fired from the Jets midseason. We are a bad franchise, and I genuinely think that's part of the reason.
I agree. I would absolutely agree with that point itself. Um, man, it's tough to look at what they're doing and say that anything is inspiring any hope. Like, they need to just look themselves in the mirror and realize that ownership, the Johnson brothers, they're the shit that's fucking this up. They are making these poor decisions consistently. Is the one still a fucking ambassador overseas in like Ireland or something?
Um, the UK, I think specifically England. Oh, I don't know. I want to say yes, but I know he also came under fire relatively recently for allegedly using the N word, which wouldn't surprise me at all.
Nope. Fucking A, dude. They kill me. They have the ability to do shit, and they have the ability to attract talent, and they make draft picks that look good on paper every year, and just nothing happens.
So
I don't know. I
here,
know you are infinitely more frustrated with them than I am. It's just
well,
they shouldn't be in this situation.
here's the other thing that drives me fucking bananas about this whole situation is when a baseball team is bad, what the
Yeah.
team does is they start playing a lot of dudes you've never fucking heard of that are sitting in their minor leagues to try to see if those players are worth anything. They're trying to see if they're good enough to start every day and can be a part of that organization's future. And if they're not, they're going to see if they're good enough on a major league level that they can be traded for somebody who might be. Basically, what they're doing is they're throwing it all out the wall and figuring out what works and taking that in stride to build a better team for the future. The Jets could do that. The Jets could get really weird with the offense. Start going for it on fourth down a lot. Try getting more creative on some long shot plays. Stop running the ball as much, or at least if you're going to do it with more style and panache to try to make something happen. And if something ends up working for you, like if double switching on a running back option actually helps you out because of how your offensive line reacts to that, cool. That's something you can start doing. Instead, they're playing this conservative offense like it's Brady and Belichick, where it's like Brady's always going to find the dude who's open for 6 yards. It's infuriating, but he's always there somehow due to Belichick's scheming and Brady's ability to go through his reads well. And they're not that team. And it's crazy that that's how they're playing it. Because if you think you're good, go do the things well that you do well. And if you think you're not going to be good, go try weird stuff and see how you can improve. Instead, they're playing conservative when they're not good enough to do it. And I don't know how that's a winning strategy for you. And this is something I think we see a lot throughout football because of the bizarro nature of head coaching in football. For instance, how does Matt Patricia still have a head coaching job when Eric Bieniemy doesn't? And
I think Eric Bieniemy could have a job if he wanted one.
I think the Jets should hire him immediately.
Yeah, I mean, they interviewed him and chose Gase instead. So
because Dr. Papa John, Mr. State Farm, called him up and said, "Y'all hire my boy?" And they said, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, is that how that conversation went?
Basically, yeah. Peyton Manning, deep Louisiana accent. He doesn't. For
he
reference.
does not even close.
No, he doesn't. All right. I think I have to end my tangent or my rant, but it is deeply upsetting and makes me want to die. So,
ooh, that's both tough to hear and also extremely understandable.
And our next game is against San Francisco, and it's like, and San Francisco just lost, so they're looking for like revenge, and I'm just sitting there like that Nelson from the Simpsons meme.
We're in danger.
yeah.
That's also Ralph.
Oh man, Ralph, damn it.
Nelson's the bully.
Don't report me to Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Yo, that line fucking had me rolling when I first heard it.
Oh, it's fucking phenomenal. That show, like early seasons of that show, are nearly unmatched. They are so fucking funny.
So good. So good. Yeah, so anyway, there's other NFL stuff that is happening. This is a gloss over of headlines, and there's no other real
As we
fun.
do.
Yeah, general glossing. Yeah, there's no other real fun headlines to get into, so figure, fuck it. Let's talk about, very briefly because of our limited knowledge, the Clippers got eliminated in the NBA playoffs by the Denver Nuggets. And if you've been listening to this show, Corwin and I don't talk about the NBA very frequently in terms of what is actually happening there because we don't watch much. But
no, I cannot tell you. But actually, I did watch a basketball game for the first time this year.
What game?
Our buddy Ethan was over, and it was the Rockets against whatever team the Rockets are playing in the round where they got knocked out. Probably the Lakers, maybe the team before them. I don't remember. But I watched a basketball game, and I kind of knew some stuff that happened.
I saw a lot of Houston fans be salty, and while I enjoy their salt, I have no true comments on their team. But I will say, the Lakers, or sorry, the Clippers. This is impressive. I mean, this is really impressive at how bad one can choke. Because, like, when the Warriors blew the 3-1 series lead to the Cavs, they didn't blow a 3-1 series lead to, like, some upstart team. They blew a 3-1 lead to literal, actual LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love, and a few other dudes who, like, are names in the NBA. LeBron James being...
It was the first time it ever happened.
Right. I mean, we're looking at last year's finals, like, MVP, Kawhi Leonard. We're looking at a very heavily invested in Paul George and others who got knocked out by a team I cannot name you a player off of.
Ooh, I can name two. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic.
Oh,
just because those are two guys who are good at basketball, and I see their names on Twitter a lot.
Now that you say it, I do know Nikola Jokic. Jokic or Jokic?
Yes. I don't know.
I mean, that works for me. And so anyway, the fact that they lost is embarrassing, but also has raised a very funny point, which is the Paul George trade. And I thought this would be fun to at least do a revisit of in passing, just because of how comically much they gave up for him. Now, I have it in front of me. Corwin, you do not recall what they gave up, correct?
No, and I specifically asked Josh not to spoil it so I could go in blind.
Okay. So, it's a doozy. Like, looking at it, like, hurts. Wow. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So the Clippers acquired Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder acquired in return a player by the name of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a player by the name of Danilo Gallinari. They also acquired the Clippers' 2022 first-round pick, the Clippers' 2024 first-round pick, the Clippers' 2026 first-round pick, the Miami Heat's 2021 first-round pick, the Miami Heat's 2023 first-round pick. Lottery protected. I don't know what that means.
Basically, if the team whose pick it was lands in, like, the lottery, which is like the top 8 draft picks, who all have a chance to, get the top overall pick, they get to retain it, and it becomes like another first the next year, usually.
Gotcha. So that's the Miami 2023 first round pick, lottery protected. The Clippers 2023 first round pick with a right to swap picks and finally, the Clippers' 2025 first-round pick with a right to swap picks. So altogether, they own the Clippers' first-round picks for the 2022, 23, 24, 25, and 26 season, in addition to the Heat's 2021 and 2023 first-round picks, and got 2 players.
So how many first-round picks total?
7. They got 7 first-round picks between 2021 and 2026.
I don't know how you, as a franchise, can look at a singular player and say, that is worth 7 first-round picks. What?
My God. I know, man. I know. And the thing to me about it is this is also the cockiest trade in the world because you're assuming that your playoff window is going to be until 2026. Like, imagine 2026, 6 years from now. Real quick, Paul George is 30. Like, there is a non-zero chance that he is done with basketball in 2026. And you're going to be sitting there, dick in hand, wondering where your first round pick is as the Clippers slide to last in the NBA because you can't acquire good talent from the draft, which is the cheapest and easiest way of acquiring good talent when you're bad. It's cocky as fuck to assume that you will not need those picks.
No.
Come
That's
2026.
not cocky. Cocky is usually described for someone who has the confidence in their skill. There's no skill with this. That's just fucking stupid. There's no intelligence with that. I refuse to accept that is anything short of just blatant incoherent stupidity.
I know. So
honestly, Josh, we don't know enough about these players to make honest to God opinionated, statements.
I'm going to tell you.
This is just a value perspective in general sports.
Oh yeah, that's exactly why we're even talking about this, because this is bullshit insane from a sports perspective. So real quick, just to cap it off, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the 2 players acquired by OKC in the trade, point guard, and is just finished his age 21 season, so a nice young dude. And then Danilo Gallinari, 31, so more Paul George's age. In Paul George's first season for the Clippers, he played in 48 games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played in 70 games for the OKC Thunder, and Danilo Gallinari played in 62 games. So already, in terms of just being on the court, Paul George not looking great. And then looking at their actual stats. Wait. Okay. Paul George's points, I'm assuming this is per game because there's no way this is overall. 19. Sorry, not 19. 20. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 19. And then Danilo Gallinari, 18.7. Oh, sorry, Paul George, 21.5. So really only slightly better, I would think. He's a single layup and a half better than Shai, and a single 3-pointer better than Danilo. And at this point, does it matter?
No, because that fuck, my mic keeps falling over. Oh, this is ugly. Bad luck for professional podcasters, which we are not. It doesn't matter how close they are, when it comes down to the semantics of a handful of points a game. Paul George cannot add that much value to your team. Granted, this is the NBA where individual superstar players are worth more because it's a bigger impact on the 5-man starting rotation for a team. Sure. But God, like, again, I just want to reiterate, I don't know if there's any sport where 7 first round picks would make sense.
So, interestingly enough, Basketball Reference, the basketball version of Baseball Reference, run by the wonderful people at, I think they rebranded to StatHead, is like the overarching entity now that runs all of the different sport reference pages. Anyway, they have a metric for basketball called win shares, which is an estimate of the number of wins contributed by a player. So it's basically basketball WAR. Paul George 4.8, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 6.1, and Danilo Gallinari 6.3 for the 2019-2020 season. So yeah, like not only even if his was double theirs, like if his was theirs put together, would this be a bad trade? But like the fact of the matter is, it didn't even work out for them in the first place. Like even if they just traded like 2 first-round picks, I guess it looks good that they tried, and 2 first-round picks I'm sure is much easier to swallow than 7. But like, there's no world where giving up that much capital, man. Also, anything can go wrong in sports. It's so easy for things to go wrong in sports. Why would you hedge that much of your future on today's success?
You should not.
Mind-blowingly stupid. So, fuck the Clippers.
Will they learn? No.
Well, they got 6 years to figure it out. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Disappointing. Was there anything else we had?
I guess not.
Yeah, I guess so. The Dallas Stars are in the NHL Finals,
which seems so weird.
Yeah, that is confusing. I don't care.
I'll take shit I never would put money on in 1,000 years to start the season for 1,200, Alex.
It's not that they were even like. It's not that they were even like bad. It's just they were never like in the conversation whenever it came to like teams that are going to make the Stanley Cup Finals this year. Like,
right, like
they just kind of.
They've always been above average. They've always been good enough to like be like a team that'll probably make the playoffs on the fringe. But like, I don't think anyone would ever look at that and say, "Yes, this is a championship contender," or at least. If everything goes right, they can be a championship contender. I think even that was like, eh.
Yeah, and their competition for them so far has yet to be determined, as it is going to be one of Tampa Bay or New York Islanders. They are playing Game 6 tomorrow, I believe, Friday. We're recording this on Wednesday, so saying tomorrow seems kind of weird. Oh, actually, no. I think they're playing on a Thursday. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So the next time we have a show, we'll be able to say with a little bit more confidence who is in the Stanley Cup Finals. We'll definitely know, but come Sunday. But I think no matter what, no matter if it's Dallas, New York, or Dallas, Tampa, it's going to be a really weird year for the Stanley Cup Final, and I am excited about it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope the Islanders get it, just because I think that'd be way funnier than if it was
Fuck you.
Tampa Bay.
Fuck you.
Why?
Fuck the Islanders.
Is that the first round pick for next year?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. No, I just really don't like the Islanders.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I mean, that would be like you wanting the Caps to win because you want to see Obi win it or something like that, which is fine. I get it. Tampa Bay, like, yeah, they're a great team. I just don't care for them in any capacity. I've never watched Tampa Bay play in a game where I don't have any skin and just be like, yes, I would love to see them win this game.
I actually really like Tampa because they keep taking a bunch of our players, so it's like rooting for a different Rangers team.
Touche.
They have they have like 25 Rangers. It's just they're all Rangers. Plus, like, Stevie Y was like the easiest dude to root for.
Oh well, sure, why not?
Everyone likes Stevie
Y, so I can't say.
Yeah, we did not grow up on good Detroit teams. I guess we kind of did, but I don't really remember them. Doesn't matter. So that's the only other thing I could think of that's really happening. Unless you got anything?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, at least.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if you think of anything, man, we record twice a week, so we can come up again later.
Touche.
All right. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And until Monday, y'all have a good one.
Bye.